You heard the latest?
Ooh, child, I knew that was true from the moment my auntie's friend's cousin sister told me.
The talk. Here's what's trending.
In my opinion, Think Different TV's LaShia.
What's up, everyone out there? This is LaShia, creator of Think Different TV, which airs Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Think Different TV's Player Pass game show, which airs Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Think Different TV YouTube channel. And this is In My Opinion with Think Different TV's LaShia. Let's get into it. Already a week into June, Men's Mental Health Month, and we start back at 1. An update on the McKnight drama. You might recall Nico, who was estranged from his father, passed away on May 29th, 2025 at the age of 32 after a brave 2-year battle with stage 4 cancer. His mother, Julie McKnight, confirmed the news via a statement on social media, and his uncle Claude McKnight shared in a heartfelt TikTok video that he remembered Nico as a quirky and curious individual with remarkable talent. In Nico's final months, he expressed a desire for reconciliation with his father, but Brian reportedly rebuffed these attempts, stating he couldn't arbitrarily express love. Brian McKnight has finally chosen to speak out about the situation via Instagram in an attempt to clear the air about his brother Claude, Nico's mother Julie, and his late son Nico.
Big thanks to Claude McKnight's tasteless and self-aggrandizing announcement on TikTok that frankly was not his to make. In my opinion, he inserted himself and used Nico's death as an opportunity instead of letting him pass with respect and dignity. It has instead turned into a circus, a mockery of a life now lost, making this tragedy into a reality show type drama. While that was unfolding, my family and I flew home to Maui and had a private memorial remembering him and all the good times. The last time he and I spoke, we offered him all the help we could provide. We had the #1 oncologist on deck for him and a team of specialists on standby with private care in our home. He and his mother declined. The door of communication was open and remained open until his death. To the self-proclaimed mama bear, may God have mercy on your soul for not allowing him to accept that help and not allowing him to use that line of communication. There is great comfort in knowing God knows the truth and the totality of the whole story. I am truly thankful for the immense peace God has given me, and I've left everything in His hands. I have a clear conscience. The only judgment that matters is God's. My wife, our children, and I are eternally thankful to Almighty God that the suffering has come to an end and grateful for all of your condolences. Thanks to those of you who have known the truth from the beginning and haven't let untruths, half-truths, or slander prejudice your opinion.
However, Julie had this to say about her decision to protect Nico from Brian during his healing process.
I did receive out of the blue a text from him about a year ago when our son Nico was, going through his healing process. So I did get a very negative text from him during that process. And I'm glad you asked that, because then I can address, he made a comment where he hasn't contacted our son because I left a very, he didn't say harsh, very aggressive voicemail. And in a way, I will say that is true, because once the text was received, I did make it very clear that this type of negativity is not what's going to be allowed in this space. And if this type of negativity is what you're bringing, do not bring it here. Mm-hmm. If you would like to be helpful, if you would like to be a part of this, no problem. Now you know how to reach me. But this is what we're not going to do. So I guess it was harsh.
Well, and is that the incident that we read about on social media and in entertainment blogs, where I think that he made mention that you basically said stay away?
Yeah, he said his words were that I told him to stay away. What he was told was not to bring that bleep into this situation. The moment that he said that they were born out of evil, they were born out of sin, the moment that he said they're the way they are because their mother raised them, absolutely. And I thank God. So at that point, he essentially just handed full everything to me, which I had. So yeah, if I'm protecting my son and my daughter in love, you will not do this in this space. And yeah, he was told that. Now you're more than welcome to be a part of this in a positive way. But once the text was sent, it was, oh no, thank you. No. But he is still welcome. Just you have to come in the correct way.
But I want to bring the bleepity bleep bleep bleep. I want to be welcome and bring the bleepity bleep bleep bleep.
No.
And you're not allowing that.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Whoever you are.
In other news, DDG is going for the Father of the Year award with his newest antics. The situation between DDG and Halle Bailey has escalated into a legal battle over custody and restraining orders. Bailey was granted a temporary restraining order against DDG in May, citing allegations of physical, emotional, verbal, and financial abuse. She also requested sole legal and physical custody of their son Halle and sought no contact and stay away orders to prevent DDG from contacting her or their child. DDG responded by filing for sole custody of Halle and requesting a restraining order against Bailey, claiming she posed an imminent emotional and psychological risk to their son. He alleged that Bailey had engaged in emotional coercion, including threats of self-harm and abortion during their relationship. He also accused her of tracking him using AirTags and claimed she had physically assaulted him. Recently, DDG attempted to block Bailey from traveling to Italy with their son, arguing that it would be unsafe. However, the judge denied his request, citing insufficient evidence to support his claims. Bailey maintained that her trip was work-related and had arranged monitored visitation for DDG despite the restraining order. The next court hearing is scheduled for June 24th, where further evidence will be reviewed to determine custody arrangements and restraining orders. While covering this topic last time, I learned one of DDG's friends expressed anger that Halle waited so long to file a restraining order when she claimed the incident happened in January. I wonder if he would say the same of DDG, considering the texts he used as evidence were dated June of 2024 and before. We are in 2025. In my opinion, the text DDG released and other evidence presented was not done to truly get him a restraining order against Halle. It was to damage her reputation. He is butthurt. She was granted hers, so he wanted to get his. And he got his all right. The thing is, he got an order granted, but it did not stop Halle from taking their son to Italy. I will say this though. If I were Halle and knew how unhinged DDG is, I wouldn't poke the bear. I do agree that she shouldn't take Halle to Italy if it's for work. Personally, I would leave my son in the States to be taken care of until I returned. Now, if it's just a vacation, okay. I think that's the only thing DDG has a problem with that I agree with. Also, as unstable as he tries to paint Halle to be even before she became pregnant, doesn't it make him just as unstable because he got her pregnant? Brian, I'm going to hold your hand and tell you this with love. What you said and your tone makes you look like a scumbag. Anger and, more importantly, pride will be your downfall. This whole situation is upsetting. I can only speculate on this, but it seems like Brian's help for his son didn't come without a price. I mean, why would Nico and his mother turn it down? Even the way Brian said he offered it to him sounded like he didn't do it with love. To know Nico would have rather died than to accept his father's help is heartbreaking to me. Julie couldn't keep Nico away from his father. Nico was grown. Brian can say, oh, she poisoned my son's minds and hearts against me. And maybe that would fly if they were still children. But at their age, they are able to think and feel for themselves. B-Mac definitely didn't help things with his earlier comments. And if his help didn't come with an apology, I can understand why it wasn't taken. As grown as his children are, the dynamic is still he is the father and they are the children. It was up to him to be the bigger man, but he was stuck in his ways and stubborn. Sad state of affairs all around. And that was, in my opinion, with Think Different TV's LaShia. What's yours?